Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as most of my friends know, I enjoy watching anime. And there's this trope when it comes to food and anime where there's always this hunk of meat with a bone sticking out of both sides. And it's usually grilled or cooked over an open fire or something like that. Always, in my opinion, look really good. So what I'm going to be doing today is trying to figure out how to make something that looks like that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so here in my bowl I have about a quarter to half a cup of diced onions, about a teaspoon of garlic. I'm going to start adding some ground meat into that. This is just a mixture of ground beef and ground turkey. I'm going to mix that all up and get it kind of evenly, kind of doing almost like a meatloaf. Just getting all that real evenly combined. Don't want any big chunks of where it just has a lot of onion or anything else like that in there. With that, I'm going to go ahead and season it with some chili powder and some paprika and some salt and pepper. Alright, then mix that all up in there. Alright, now I have a piece of sirloin steak that I'm going to be slicing fairly thin on this here, like deli slicer. Try to do this so you can see it and where I will also not cut myself. Alright, cool, so I have some really thin, fairly thin slices of meat. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do the rest of this piece of steak like that. Alright, so here I have a bone from a smoked turkey leg. I had deboned and made some smoked turkey leg salad, like a chicken salad. Turned out really good. I'll show you all how to do that in another video. So I have that. Need to take my meat. Kind of stick the bone in there. Smoosh that evenly and all around. And now here comes in that real thinly sliced meat. Kind of lay that along the bottom. In theory, you would use slices of meat long enough to cover the entire thing. But my my meat slicer can't handle that. So what I'm gonna do, since they aren't long enough to wrap around that way, I do believe they are long enough to go around this way. Alright, so I'll go ahead and wrap this in some cling wrap. Alright, there you go. Got this wrapped up in some cling wrap. And I'll go ahead and let that, put this in the fridge for about 20 to 30 minutes. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and get my grill heated up. And I think I'm gonna, yeah, I think I want to make a kind of a glaze to go over the top of this. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and let this start chilling and setting because it's still a little kind of loosey-goosey. Yeah, so yeah, we'll let this set and then I'll go ahead and start making a glaze. Alright, so I'm just kind of making this up as I go. First off, I think I'm going to do some soy sauce. Good bit of soy sauce. A little bit of sriracha. Give it just a suggestion of heat. A little bit of teriyaki. Just a couple splashes for flavor. Oh, what else should I put in here? Thinking a couple drops of sesame oil to give it some toastiness. That'll complement it being on the grill very well, I think. Some rice vinegar and some brown sugar. Make it really glaze up well. Give it some nice sweetness. Yeah. And I don't have any fresh ginger, so I'm going to put a little bit of ground ginger in there. Then a little bit of Chinese cooking wine. Just a little splash. This stuff goes a long way. One thing that I learned in school, when making a soy sauce reduction, it goes from 0 to 100 really quickly. It'll be runny, and if you aren't careful, it'll suddenly be burnt. So, yeah, if you're making this, be very mindful of your sauce. Alright, I was thinking about it. And because this is a pretty hefty chunk of meat, and it does have turkey in it, so I can't just do this like medium rare or anything else like that. So it'll take a while to cook. So what I'm going to do, now that I've gotten it kind of firmed up, is I am going to kind of, again, reposition the bone and make sure that's where I want it. I'm going to wrap it in foil. Make sure the bone is still nice and wrapped up well. I'm gonna wrap it in foil, and I'm gonna cook it because this will probably take probably a good hour to cook. How I want to cook it, at least. So I'll cook it for the first probably 45 minutes, all wrapped up in foil real well. So that way I don't lose any of my juices and I don't dry the whole thing out. Yeah, if this was just like a leg of a cow or something that I would want to eat medium rare, then I wouldn't have worried about this at all. But since I want it to be well cooked throughout, yeah, definitely needs to be cooked for longer, and this is the best way to do it. Alright, so let's go ahead and go outside. Alright, so I have my grill right at about 300. So yeah, like I said, I'll just go ahead and set this on here. And I'll probably come back for this and I'll check it in about 30 minutes. It'll probably be about 45 until I take it off the grill, or until I take it out of the foil. Okay, so I'm not sure what I just recorded or not, because I thought I hit record, but it looks like I didn't. My fire got a little bit hot, so it kind of browned that, or blackened that side a little bit more. So I know the meat's done cooking, but I still want to kind of cook this glaze on. So I'm gonna let it cook for another, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes. Pretty low, just to kind of caramelize the sugar that's in the glaze itself. And yeah, it started raining, so I'm really glad that there's a cover over the grill. Really, I don't think this will cook more than like 2 or 3 minutes. Like I said, I'm just caramelizing the glaze that I put on it. Alright, so I'll go ahead and pull this off the fire. Let it sit for a few minutes, and we'll go ahead and get this plated up all nice and pretty. Well, here we go. This is, the horrible lighting aside, the anime meat. Yeah, looks a lot darker on camera than it actually is. But I have horrible fluorescent lighting in my kitchen, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that right now. Let's go ahead and give it a nice cut, so you can kind of see what it looks like on the inside. Nice, cooked all the way through. Again, if this was like all beef or anything else like that, I'd have cooked it medium rare, so that way it'd have better color contrast and all that. But since it has turkey in it, I wanted to make sure I cooked it all the way through. Go ahead and take off this bite that I cut off. It's good. It's very reminiscent of like meatloaf covered in steak. But that glaze is really good. That goes very well with it. Yeah, that's really good. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I know you're still waiting on me to finish the forge. I'm waiting to get my metal in before I can finish that up. So, hope you all have a great day. If you like this, please give it a like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like this, please check out some of my other videos. You might enjoy them more. I do kind of a culmination of building stuff and cooking stuff. Anyways, I hope you all have a great day.